Have you ever found yourself sitting at home, maybe sipping your morning coffee, and feeling like something's missing? Like the house is a little too quiet, or the days are starting to blend together. If you're nodding along, you're not alone. Loneliness can creep in as we get older, especially when the kids have moved out. Friends are busy with their own lives. Or maybe you're not as mobile as you used to be. But here's the good news. You don't have to feel this way forever, and you don't even have to leave your home to find joy and connection again. There are simple, meaningful ways to fill your days with warmth, purpose, and even a few smiles, all from the comfort of your own space. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It can affect your health, your mood, and even how you see the world. Studies show that staying connected and engaged can boost your energy, improve your mental sharpness, and even help you live longer. That's why I'm so excited to share this video with you. Today, we're going to explore 5 practical, heartfelt ways to find joy and connection without stepping foot outside your door. These aren't complicated tricks or expensive solutions. They're things you can start doing today, no matter where you are or what your day looks like. So, grab a cozy seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's dive into the first way to bring a little more light into your life. The first way to find joy and connection is to rediscover an old hobby or try something new that sparks your curiosity. Think back for a moment. Maybe there was something you loved doing years ago, like knitting, painting, or even writing letters. Or maybe there's something you've always wanted to try but never had the time for, like learning to play a few chords on a guitar or starting a small herb garden on your windowsill. Hobbies aren't just a way to pass the time. They're a way to reconnect with yourself, to find that little spark of excitement that makes you feel alive. And the best part? You don't need to go anywhere to do them. Let me tell you about my friend Margaret. She's 72, and a couple of years ago, she was feeling pretty down. Her husband had passed, and her days felt long and empty. One day, she dusted off an old sketchbook she hadn't touched since her 20s. She started doodling nothing fancy. Just little drawings of flowers and birds she saw outside her window. Over time, those sketches turned into beautiful watercolor paintings. She even started sharing them online through a free app her granddaughter showed her how to use. Now, Margaret gets messages from people all over the world who love her art. She's not only found joy in creating again, but also connected with others who share her passion, all without leaving her living room. You don't have to be an artist to feel this kind of joy. Maybe you love puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku, or even jigsaw puzzles can be incredibly satisfying. Or perhaps you've always wanted to write down your life stories for your grandkids. There are so many options, and the key is to start small. Pick something that feels fun, not like a chore. If you're not sure where to begin, try browsing YouTube for free tutorials. There are videos on everything from knitting to calligraphy, and most are easy to follow. Set aside just 15 minutes a day to play with your new hobby, and you'll be amazed at how it lifts your spirits and gives you something to look forward to. Now, let's move on to the second way to find connection, reaching out through technology. I know, technology can feel overwhelming, especially if you didn't grow up with smartphones or computers. But hear me out. You don't need to be a tech wizard to use simple tools that can bring people closer to you. Video calls, for example, are like magic. They let you see and hear your loved ones, no matter how far away they are. Imagine seeing your grandkids' smiles or catching up with an old friend over a virtual coffee date. It's not the same as being there in person, but it's pretty close. And it can make a huge difference in how connected you feel. Take my neighbor, Tom, for instance. He's 68 and used to think video calls were only for young folks. But last year, his daughter set him up with a tablet and showed him how to use a free app called Zoom. At first, he was nervous. But now he has weekly calls with his son in California and even joins a virtual book club with people he's never met in person. He says it's like having a little community right in his living room. If you're new to this, ask a family member or friend to help you set up a free video call app like Zoom, FaceTime, or WhatsApp. Most of them are simple to use once you get the hang of it. And there are plenty of free tutorials online if you want to learn at your own pace. But it's not just about video calls. Technology can also help you connect with groups who share your interests. There are online communities for everything: gardening, cooking, even discussing old movies. Websites like Facebook have groups you can join, or you can explore forums like Reddit, where people chat about all sorts of topics. You don't have to post anything yourself. Just reading and seeing what others are sharing can make you feel part of something bigger. The key is to take it one step at a time. Maybe start with a single video call to a family member or join one online group that sounds interesting. Before you know it, you'll have new conversations and connections that brighten your day. So, we've talked about rediscovering hobbies and using technology to connect with others, two powerful ways to bring joy and connection into your life without leaving home. But there's more to explore. And the next ideas are just as simple and rewarding. Let's keep going and talk about how you can build new routines that make every day feel a little more special. Now that we've got you thinking about rediscovering hobbies and dipping your toes into technology, let's talk about another way to find joy and connection right from your home. Creating a daily ritual that feels like a warm hug to your soul. You know how a good cup of coffee or tea in the morning can set the tone for your day? That's the kind of intentional moment we're aiming for here. A ritual doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a small, meaningful routine that gives you something to look forward to and helps you feel grounded. It's like planting a little seed of joy that grows with each day. Think about someone like Betty, who's 75 and lives alone in a cozy apartment. She told me she used to wake up feeling a bit lost, like the day didn't have much purpose. Then she started a simple morning ritual. She'd sit by her window with a cup of chamomile tea, listen to her favorite classical music, and spend 10 minutes writing down one thing she was grateful for. Sometimes it was big, like a call from her son, and sometimes it was small, like the way the sunlight hit her plants. That little routine became her anchor. It didn't just make her feel less lonely, it gave her a sense of purpose and a reason to smile before the day even started. Over time, she added a short stretching routine to her mornings, which made her feel even more energized and connected to her body. You can create a ritual that suits you. Maybe it's starting your day with a favorite song and a few deep breaths, or ending it by reading a chapter of a good book under a cozy blanket. The key is to make it something that feels special to you. It could be as simple as lighting a candle while you sip your evening tea or spending a few minutes looking through old photos and remembering happy times. These moments aren't just about filling time, they're about reminding yourself that you deserve to feel good, no matter what's going on. And here's a little bonus. When you share your ritual with someone, like telling a friend about your gratitude journal or inviting them to listen to the same music playlist, it can become a way to connect, even from afar. Let's move on to the fourth way to find joy and connection: nurturing your relationships through small, thoughtful gestures. You don't need to be in the same room with someone to make them feel loved or to feel loved in return. Sometimes, it's the little things that mean the most, like sending a handwritten note, a quick text, or even a funny meme that reminds you of an inside joke. These gestures are like tiny bridges that keep you connected to the people who matter, and they can make both you and them feel less alone. I'll never forget hearing about George, a 70-year-old retiree who started writing short letters to his old high school buddies. He'd jot down a memory from their school days or ask about their lives now, and he'd mail them out every couple of weeks. At first, he wasn't sure if anyone would respond, but soon his mailbox was full of replies. One friend even sent him a photo from their old football team, sparking a flood of memories they now share over the phone. George says those letters didn't just reconnect him with old friends, they gave him a sense of belonging, like he was part of something again. And the best part? He did it all from his kitchen table. You don't have to write letters if that's not your style. A quick phone call to check in on a neighbor, a text to your grandkids with a funny story, or even emailing a cousin to share a recipe can work wonders. If you're feeling creative, You could send a small care package with a favorite cookie recipe or a printed photo. The point is to reach out in a way that feels natural to you. It doesn't have to be a big gesture, just something that says, "I'm thinking of you." And when you make someone else smile, it has a way of coming back to you, filling your heart with warmth. Another great way to make these connections feel even more meaningful is to set up a regular schedule for them. Maybe you decide to call one person every Wednesday afternoon or send a text to a different friend each week. It's like creating a rhythm of connection that keeps loneliness at bay. And don't worry if you're not sure who to reach out to. Start with one person, maybe someone you haven't talked to in a while, and see where it leads. You might be surprised at how eager people are to hear from you. We've explored some wonderful ways to bring joy and connection into your life. From creating daily rituals that ground you to sending thoughtful gestures that keep your relationships strong. But there's one more idea I can't wait to share with you. Something that ties everything together and makes your home feel like a hub of happiness. Let's dive into that next. So, we've been talking about how to fill your days with joy and connection, all from the comfort of your home. Now, let's dive into the fifth way to make your heart feel a little fuller. Engaging with your community through virtual volunteering or sharing your wisdom. You might be thinking, volunteering? From home? How does that work? Well, it's easier than you might imagine. And it's one of the most rewarding ways to feel connected to others while making a real difference. When you share your time, skills, or experiences, you're not just helping someone else, you're reminding yourself that you have so much to offer, and that can be incredibly uplifting. Let me tell you about Helen, who's 78 and lives in a small apartment on her own. A few years ago, she was feeling isolated, like her days didn't have much purpose. Then she stumbled across an online program that connects seniors with local schools to help kids with reading. Helen signed up to be a virtual reading buddy, using her tablet to read stories with a third grader once a week. She'd log on, share a book, and chat with the child about the story. It wasn't just the kids who loved it. Helen found herself laughing, sharing stories from her own childhood, and feeling like she was part of something meaningful again. Now, she says those weekly sessions are the highlight of her week, and she's even started mentoring other seniors to join the program. You don't have to be a tech expert to do this. There are so many opportunities to volunteer from home, whether it's tutoring kids, helping with online community projects, or even writing encouraging letters for charities that support people in need. Websites like Volunteer Match or local library websites often list virtual opportunities, and many are designed to be simple and flexible. If teaching or mentoring isn't your thing, you could share your wisdom in other ways, like recording short videos with life advice for younger generations or joining online discussion groups to share your perspective. The key is to find something that feels meaningful to you. When you give back, even in a small way, it creates a sense of connection that's hard to beat. Now, as we wrap up, let's take a moment to think about what we've covered. We started by rediscovering hobbies that light you up, whether it's painting, gardening, or writing down your memories. Then we explored how technology, like video calls or online groups, can bring people closer, no matter the distance. We talked about creating daily rituals that give your days purpose and warmth, and how small, thoughtful gestures like a quick note or call can strengthen your relationships. And now, we've seen how sharing your time and wisdom through virtual volunteering can make you feel part of a bigger community. Each of these steps is simple, but together, they can transform how you feel, turning quiet moments into opportunities for joy and connection. The beautiful thing about all this is that you don't need to make big changes to see a difference. Start with one small step, maybe picking up that old knitting project, sending a text to a friend, or signing up for a virtual book club. These little actions add up, and before you know it, your days will feel fuller, your heart a little lighter. You deserve to feel connected and joyful, no matter your age or where you are. And the best part? You're not alone in this. There are people out there, friends, family, even new faces who want to share in your journey. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's one thing you're going to try to bring more joy into your life? Maybe you've got a hobby you love or a story about a connection that made your day. Share it with us. It might inspire someone else watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more tips on living your best life at any age. Here's to filling your home with warmth, connection, and a whole lot of happiness. Until next time, take care and keep shining. Now, let's keep the momentum going and talk about how you can make these ideas a natural part of your life, so your home feels like a place of warmth and connection every single day. We've already explored 5 wonderful ways to find joy, from rediscovering hobbies to volunteering virtually. But sometimes the real magic happens when you weave these ideas together into a lifestyle that feels uniquely yours. That's what this part is all about, taking those sparks of joy and turning them into a steady glow that lights up even the quietest moments. So, grab that cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into some extra tips to make your days feel even more fulfilling. One way to bring all these ideas together is to create a personal joy map for your week. Think of it as a loose plan, not a rigid schedule, that helps you sprinkle moments of connection and happiness throughout your days. For example, you might decide that Monday mornings are for your hobby, maybe 20 minutes of sketching or tending to that windowsill herb garden we talked about earlier. Wednesday afternoons could be your time to make a quick video call to a friend or family member, just to catch up and share a laugh. Fridays might be when you send a thoughtful text or letter to someone special, and perhaps Sundays are for your gratitude journal or that cozy ritual of music and tea. The beauty of this approach is that it's flexible. You can tweak it to fit your energy and mood, but it gives your week a rhythm that feels purposeful. Let me share a story about Clara, who's 80 and lives in a small condo. She was feeling a bit adrift after her bridge club stopped meeting in person. So, she started what she calls her weekly joy plan. She dedicated Tuesday evenings to watching classic movies and texting her niece about them afterward, sharing their favorite lines. Thursdays were for knitting a scarf for a charity she found online, which also connected her to a virtual knitting group. Over time, Clara noticed her days felt less empty. She had things to look forward to, and those little moments of connection made her feel part of a bigger world. You can start your own joy map with just 1 or 2 activities a week. Write them down on a piece of paper or even a sticky note on your fridge to remind yourself that these moments are just as important as any other appointment. Another way to keep the joy flowing is to celebrate your small wins. Did you try a new hobby for the first time, even if it felt a bit clumsy? That's a win. Did you send a quick message to an old friend and get a reply? That's a win. Did you spend 10 minutes enjoying your morning ritual without distractions? That's a win, too. We often overlook these moments because they seem small, but they're like pebbles in a jar. Over time, they add up to something substantial. Try keeping a little notebook where you jot down one thing each day that made you smile or feel connected. It could be as simple as, "I laughed during my call with Susan," or, "I finished a crossword puzzle today." Flipping through those notes on a tough day can remind you just how much joy is already in your life. Let's talk about one more idea to tie this all together. Creating a cozy corner in your home that's just for you. This is your space to enjoy your hobbies, make those calls, or simply sit and soak in your rituals. It doesn't have to be fancy. Maybe it's a comfy chair by a window with a soft blanket and a small table for your tea. Add a few things that make you happy, like a photo of your grandkids, a scented candle, or a favorite book. My friend Robert, who's 73, turned a corner of his living room into what he calls his happy nook. He keeps his puzzle books there, along with his tablet for video calls and a little radio for music. He says just sitting there makes him feel calm and ready to take on the day. Your cozy corner can be anywhere: a spot on the couch, a desk, or even your kitchen table. The point is to have a place that feels like a sanctuary, where you can reconnect with yourself and the people you care about. As you start trying these ideas, remember to be kind to yourself. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's okay. If you miss a call with a friend or don't feel like working on your hobby, give yourself grace and try again tomorrow. The goal isn't perfection, it's about finding what makes your heart sing and letting those moments build over time. You're creating a life filled with connection, purpose, and joy, all from the comfort of your home. And who knows, the small steps you take today might lead to new friendships, new passions, or even a new perspective on what this season of life can be. I'd love to hear how you're making these ideas your own. Drop a comment below and share what's bringing you joy. Maybe it's a new hobby, a call with a loved one, or your own cozy corner. Your story could inspire someone else watching this video. If you're enjoying this journey, give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more ways to live your fullest life at any age. Here's to making every day a little brighter, right where you are. Until next time, keep shining and take care.